Welcome back, blade fans. This old sword here with another interesting knife review for you off the beaten path. Here we have the Spyderco Pikal, a Filipino-inspired knife, Indonesian as well, that is purpose-driven. It is martial combat driven, self-defense driven for its purpose. And I'm out on the Spyderco website. Read a little bit of background to you before we dive in. Pikal means to rip in the Philippines, Visayan dialect. Pikal, P-I-K-A-L, and in the Filipino Martial Arts I've studied, P-A-K-A-L, Pakal, Pikal, same thing. A devastatingly effective system of Filipino martial arts tactics. So this is the inspiration for the Spyderco Pikal, a folding knife which was designed in collaboration with the noted self-defense expert Craig Douglas, aka South Narc. So looks like South Narc might be law enforcement background. Don't know a whole lot about him. I did see some videos of him demonstrating this knife and drawing it online. At any rate, it is made of CPM S30V. It is considered a reverse edge tool. And we'll see if we can get you some technical specs on it. Overall length, back up a little, 7.35 inches. Blade length, 2.95. The steel is S30V. Closed length 4.4 inches. Edge length 2.78 inches. The weight 3.7 ounces. 3.2 millimeter blade thickness, or 0.125. G10 handle. Ambidextrous clip position. Tip up carry. Ball bearing lock type. And it's a full flat grind. And there you have it. So let's take a little closer look at the Spyderco Pikal, a point down dedicated knife. In the past I've shown you another specific dedicated point down edge in style knife, which is the inversion from Kaiser, designed by Dirk Pinkerton. We'll take a look at that for comparison in a moment. Thing that stands out, and this was on a few other older Spyderco knives, is their version of the wave opener, and they did give credit, I believe, to the design patent of Ernest Emerson, of Emerson knives, even though this is constructed a little differently. You notice you have a hole drilled down into the top of the blade and this rod inserted. So in this case, the knife withdraws. There's the pocket clip. It's a wire clip, ambidextrous. So if this is your pocket edge, it's going to open like this, which means the knife will be in the hand that way. So you have to sort of pivot it. The other way to do it is to mount the clip on the other side and open it on the front of the pocket and then roll it into the hand. See if I have enough room to show that. Just barely. Because I'm behind the camera and I'm stretching my arms down to the tabletop. Just the way my setup is, what can I tell you? Got a lot of aggressive jimping built into the liners on the bottom side, which really is inside the knuckles, the way this is held, or this way. So really it's designed for edge in. But you can also hold it edge out, not a problem. Meant to be held edge in. The pinky goes there. Rest of the fingers rest nicely there, and you've got a rounded pommel which your thumb fits over perfectly with nothing sticking into your thumb. Little closer look. Besides the wave opening, we have the traditional Spidey hole opening. We have a symbol here with a snake on it, which I believe is the South Narc symbol. It is a USA-made knife in Golden, Colorado. USA. And Spyderco CPM S30V and the Spyder on the side. It's a ball bearing lock. So if you're not familiar with the ball bearing lock, it is somewhat similar, if not identical in some respects, to the axis lock. But there is inside here, encased in that clear plastic, a ball bearing, which is why they're calling it a ball bearing lock, not an axis lock, even though the axis lock is now off of copyright. This was made back before that happened, so they had to do it a little differently, I believe. It's a very solid lock. No rock, no blade play. It's not going to be your flipper that you play with, but it will Spidey flick open, almost. I believe it's on washers, but not 100% certain. It just doesn't feel like ball bearings. It could be, it's a very smooth washer setup. Unusual handle. The way the top kind of humps in, and the pronounced finger choil there. Pinch it, fold it in. Not a problem one-handed, really. Although for speed, it really is meant to be opened with that wave type feature. And rather than a Spidey hole, you could open it with your thumb slowly with that as well. But the real power of this blade comes in the fact that it is very compact. You get a lot of good grip on that. It's just the right height. I think a lot of work went into designing the ergos of the handle for the intended use. And as I've shown before in some of my point down videos, which this starred in, this action here and pulling or trapping an opponent's wrist or arm is what it's all about. A very sharp blade, by the way, and suppose I could demo that. One second. Here's our requisite paper, and I'd have to say, as sharp as Spyderco edges are, this has got to be one of the sharpest. Doesn't matter where you touch it, it will cut. As Doug likes to say, Doug Markita that is. And I actually gave myself a nice little cut on the light one as I was demoing that on the fat edge of my hand there. Just goes to show you, we got to keep it real with blades, right? So for comparison, here is the Pinkerton designed inversion made by Kaiser. Also a dedicated edge-in knife. I hate to drip blood on my background. Oh, I've been cut so far worse before. Glad I haven't recently. So about the same length. Maybe the Pinkerton blade is about a ½ inch longer. So it's over 3 inches, whereas the Spyderco is right at about or slightly under 3 inches. Notice there's a similar feature here for the little pinky, and also a somewhat rounded butt, and also a wave style feature to open it right out of the pocket. This, however, is all titanium. This is steel and G10. No spider hole here. And you will need, on this one, the thumb disc to open it. Very easily, though. This is a frame lock, ball bearing lock on the Spyderco. Let's give it a quick comparison against something close. The Griptilian. Griptilian's a little bigger. I would say significantly so. And something else pretty much in the ballpark. The Benchmade Freak. But I must say that this is a quality made Spyderco knife. I'm not sure if they're still in production. Might not be. But the price I see on the Spyderco site, let me see if I can pull that up again before we leave, is under the description on Spyderco. This is $310 MSRP. You can think what you want about that. I suppose if, like anything else, your life were to depend on this, it's worth it. Are there cheaper options? Yeah, the inversion is a good deal cheaper. I think it is around the $150 mark, so half. Again, street prices are going to vary, so you have to check out Blade HQ, White Mountain, some other places, and if you are interested, to see if you come up with one. Not sure I missed anything. There is no lanyard hole. Don't think that factors in for the way this was intended to be used. Scales are removable, yes. And again, I'm pretty sure it runs on washers, although you can check that. Like the jimping there, not going to be any jimping up on the back of the blade because you got that rod sticking out. I mean, you could use this knife in a utilitarian fashion very easily with the edge down and point forward. All right, well, let me know what you think. Give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. This Old Sword signing out. We'll be back with you soon.